There's my living in Boulder, or my vlog, trying to get back in shape. April 10th. April 10th, Thursday, 9:56. Yesterday I didn't get any exercise. The day got away from me. But I got up now and I still feel like tired from the other day. But now it's been like a couple days since I exercised. I rode like 2.5 hours the other day. So, when you're like really out of shape again, getting back in shape, I think it's important to be able to distinguish the difference between, like lactic acid and stuff getting stuck in your body, because your body, I guess, isn't in shape enough to flush it out when in reality exercising more would actually help you recover. I did exercise a little bit because yesterday what happened was I got up, I had like insomnia because I was freaked out about that threatening IRS letter. They sent me a letter on the 24th saying I have to pay $3,000 by the 14th or they may consider freezing my bank account. It's this Donald Trumpism. It was a Donald Trumpist who sent that to me. That's not how the IRS operated before, dude. And now I'm starting to question everything. Like Colorado asked me for an extra $450 just last month. They're like, oops, you owe more. And it's like, what are you talking about? I prepay the proper estimated amount every year. And then when the K1 comes in, I come and file it with H&R Block and it's all good. And then throughout the year, they're always charging me extra money. It's like they've got rogue agents in there siphoning off. So from now on, whenever I get these letters, I'm calling the IRS and I'm like, what the fuck? What happened this time? And now they're like, yeah, 3,000 from 22. I'm like, what? Double pay? These guys are nuts, man. So anyways, I was like mentally preparing to lose my apartment, you know? Like, if that's how they're going to play it, like society in general, just colluding, everybody colluding with each other. No jobs for you, no roommates for you, no donation to your website. And on top of that, the IRS just robbing you, fucking bleeding you out. It's just how it happens, man. Man, I got fucked by this mechanic a couple of years ago, too. My mom, I want to sell my van, and my mom insisted that I get the lock fixed. It was just the one lock on the passenger side, but everything else was perfect for the whole life of the van. And I enlisted her to sell it because I was in the middle of stuff, and she gets really stubborn and decides she needs to fix things. And I'm like, no, you sell it, you sell it. And then we got fighting, and then she called this one. She decided she's going to call some new mechanic, some old dude, and because she thought he was better at the VW. You know, he keeps my van for 2.5 months, and when he gets it back, he charged me $2,500 to fix the lock. And then it broke. The entire system broke a week later. But I couldn't do anything about it because my big loan that I had was going to be due, and I sold the car. We finally managed to sell the car to somebody in California. He didn't even look at it. Like a couple of days before this this huge bill was going to be due, I was paying like $1,000 a month in just interest because it was a Synchrony bank with 33%. And I thought I was going to pay it off in a year, and I didn't. So, yeah, it was like, don't trust anybody. Anyways, and then he went out of business right after that. Yeah, don't ever hire an old mechanic because they get evil and senile. In the last years, that was like I had another experience twice with old mechanics in Chile. My wife's dad and her uncle. Anyway, in Chile, the mechanics take the gas out of your car. I gave him the car with a full tank of gas for this one thing. When I got it back, it was totally empty. Anyways, yeah, so I can't remember what I was going to do in the morning. My brain, I need to quit smoking weed, that's for damn sure. But I slept there, and then I rode my bike No. I drove my car up to the mechanic, my mom's mechanic, Coyote Motors, to get like the spring tune-up, just to get it looked at. It's basically just a oil change. He said he couldn't find any oil on the dipstick, so he's like, "Yeah, you got to keep putting oil in there." Could have sworn I checked the dipstick just not long ago, and not long ago at all, and the dipstick looked good. So if you drive it a lot, it'll go down. So anyway, yeah, he's like, keep a closer look on the engine, because my engine, it has an oil leak. So I have to. He's like, yeah, you need to check your oil every time you fill up. But yeah, I have to put like a quart of oil in it like once a month or so. And that's why I can't park it in the basement. It's a 2003 Mazda Protege. It's like 175,000 miles on it. I got kicked out of the basement because the oil leaks on the pan, and then when you start the car, the heat burns it off, and you literally have a smoke screen for like the first 30 seconds. But on top of that, it unlocks itself all the time. So yeah, I always find my car unlocked. I found it on car locked yesterday on the same. I don't know if it was day before yesterday on the same day that I couldn't find my helmet. I looked all over, so I bought another helmet. Yeah, I'm blowing money like it. I keep blowing money, dude. Like, if you want to get into like cycling again, prepare to blow like $20,000 just like that. Yeah, that's why I'm $50,000 in debt, because I set up my apartment. Maybe I'll show what I did, because anyway, you'd think that my apartment would be rentable. I'm gonna make a video to rent it, maybe today, because today is gonna be nothing but in the apartment doing stuff. So anyways, yeah, I went to I drove out to the mechanic. It's up in North Boulder, and then rode my bike back. And then, yeah, I needed him to fix the lock. And at the end of the day, at like 5, I rode my bike back up there. So I rode up there. That was an exercise. And good. Luckily, he only charged me like 77 bucks or something. And he fixed the lock. So now that doesn't unlock itself. So I can store stuff in my car again, which is really good, because I have to be up at work at like 6:30 every morning this summer with all my fucking bike gear and stuff. That'd suck to have to carry stuff down every time. But yeah, so after I dropped that off and rode the bike back, I was my mind is, I really gotta quit smoking weed, dude, because I kind of can't remember what I was doing. But I was like organizing paperwork and stuff, and then yeah, God, what happened to the time? But I was busy. I was trying to eat and stuff. And then at 2, I had to go to get my autism diagnosis with my mom. It's part of the DBR. And maybe I should do a video on my main channel about that. But yeah, I got diagnosed with level 1 autism. But I'm also like diagnosed with like severe like marijuana addiction. And the psychiatrist with the DVR counselor and my mom were in there. The DVR person was on the computer screen, but he's like convinced. Psychologist is convinced I'm not going to be able to quit smoking weed on my own. Because like night before last, I was super depressed because I got that letter, and I was like, fuck. Like, my heart just sank. That's when I realized that they're going to fuck me. Or at least try. I'm going to call. I mean, they can't. I mean, maybe it's just some rogue fuckface who keeps sending me these, like, letters in the hopes that they can intercept my check or something. I don't know what the fuck. But, I smoked a bunch of weed, dude. Like, there's a bunch of weed plants growing in my closet, and I went there and grabbed a bunch of buds and smoked them all night long. And I need to stop doing that because it wastes time, just because you just sit there smoking and you have to smoke a bunch of like 50, 60, 100 times. because it's wet and it doesn't have the same concentration of THC, because these are like 2-week-old plants. Because like I realized that you can get high whenever the hell you want if you're growing weed in your closet, because there's always little plants in there with varying levels of bud, and those buds do get you high. You just have to smoke them a lot, but I smoke so much I'm like inhaling fucking butane. Like I'm gagging. Oh god. Just from the thought of it. Oh god. Oh god, I know for sure that's what it is. I'm gagging just at the thought of it. I've been getting high off butane. Because then I couldn't breathe. And I've been getting fucked my lungs because I couldn't breathe. All day yesterday, I couldn't get a deep breath from all the fucking crap I smoked the night before. I was just sitting there for hours. And right now I can't breathe right. And I'm out of money and everything, and I don't have insurance. My insurance isn't good. And I only have 18 hits left on my Advair, and these are $411. And so I'm hoping that if I quit smoking weed, maybe the asthma will go away. Otherwise, I'm going to start blowing money on those. Oh, God. So anyways, thank God I have a summer job. And then, but yeah, the DVR people, he was saying I should try to see if I can get, like, you know, work the system. Like, those guys, they're, like, supporting me, so that's cool. Get some kind of, like, different types of assistance. Like, I could buy Medicaid, and then I could use the Medicaid. Because I don't make that much more money than the Medicaid threshold. And so I could buy Medicaid from some plan and then use that Medicaid to get, you know, cheap Advairs and, and because he says I need counseling. He says I need therapy. So I could maybe use that to get, like, free therapy. And I'm actually, I always was against that. But I finally have gotten to the level of frustration of not being able to talk to anybody about my website that I would actually accept therapy just to have somebody to talk to about my website, you know. It's different talking to somebody about your website and your goals for life and stuff than to talk to a video camera all the time. Yeah, so, but I don't know if that's what their job is, you know. But anyway, but yeah, maybe I should do a video. He said I'm level 1 autistic, which is like the most mild kind. It's like the kind where you're basically normal. You're just on the spectrum. And then there's level 2 and 3. There's 3 levels. Third level is where you're like Dustin Hoffman and you can't talk. But I think the way that the way that they diagnose you is basically if you have the same trends, life trends, like needing to be clean all the time, needing to sleep clean, not liking sticky skin sticking, not wanting to have friends, and but also like the way your brain works. Like autistic people, they're very visual, like photographic memory type people, and they have high knowledge, but they lack a little bit in the ability to find the right word for something. And yeah, I was consistent with all of that, especially with the weed. Like, but my short-term memory was totally compromised for the test, but it was probably still good enough to do okay if I let my brain heal from all the weed. After 6 months or a year, I would have done a lot better. It would be fun to take memory tests, but yeah, maybe I should do the video about it now that it's official, because I've been diagnosed twice now. When I was under Medicaid, I got diagnosed. But I got diagnosed again because she's like, you have persecuted personality disorder. And I was like, what is that? It doesn't even exist. So it's like, oh, man. So anyways, so I was from 2 to 3, and then I came back and was trying to clean up and stuff. And then I realized, I was like, I still didn't organize the stuff I brought in from my car. And then I looked, I was thinking about doing my dumbbell exercise. So I started punching my, my Bob dummy in the face. Like for the first time, I'd never actually exercised with my Bob dummy ever since I bought it like 2 years ago. Yeah, and God, was it 3 years ago now? I don't know, but yeah, and I was like, I couldn't breathe yesterday, so I was like having trouble. But I was doing like roundhouse kicks. I have the bummy set to like maybe 5'6" or something, and I was doing roundhouse kicks on both sides, and I can do them. They're really slow, but I can do them and hit them in the head. And I was punching, and I was doing it for a little bit, and I pushed the entire thing up against the cage, my Savannah monitor cage. Fuck, I need to go get food for my Savannah monitor now. I saw him the other day, and he was really skinny. He's like not growing. But so I was like, fuck, I should just go ahead and fix this to the floor. I never got around to fixing my Bob dummy to the floor. So I was like, fuck it. And I remember I bought stuff for it a couple of years ago, and I was going to do it, and I never got around to it. And I was like, I couldn't remember where it was. I went in the basement, I got these plates, and I was like, but then I had this like light bulb went off over my head. I was like, oh wait, what about the hacksaws? Because I think I maybe saw a little hacksaw. So I went and I got the hacksaw blades. And I was like, duh, yeah, you just do like 7 of them around the thing. And then I went into McGuckin's Hardware, and it was like another $75. So I blew like $150 yesterday. It's crazy. Every day. And the day before, I blew like $130 on a camping chair and a helmet, because I thought I lost my helmet. Oh, well, yesterday I paid my taxes, so it was another few thousand for last year, not for 2022. I'm going to have to research that today. But it's so fucked up. Like, there's people who like actually get up online and they're like, I don't like taxes, so I'm not going to pay them. Like that guy Peter Schiff, his father went to frickin' prison because he philosophically didn't want to pay his damn taxes. I'm not like that. I think taxes are awesome. I did write on my LinkedIn before my mom made me change it. The definition, my job definition that I set for myself on LinkedIn is taxes will be the death of us. We gotta get rid of the schools to reduce the taxes. And so, yeah, that's how you fix the economy, is lowering taxes, but that doesn't mean I'm against taxes. And so I hope they're not targeting me for that, those fucking assholes. Anyway, yeah, so I started working on that, and I went into McGuckin's and I got the stuff, and then I was like, oh, I need to like fix this to the ground. So I looked for so I got my Dremel tool to cut the rug off so I could fix it directly to the ground. I thought it would be like tighter that way, but I didn't have a extension cable. I have it somewhere, but I know that I put it somewhere, and I remember thinking in my head that I put it, but and I looked everywhere in my house and I couldn't find it. So like, my brain is so soft from all the weed smoking that my memory isn't good enough to know where anything is in my apartment. Like, I put stuff away and it's gone. I don't know anything. And so like, I'm not smart enough to manage my apartment because my brain doesn't work well enough. I can't remember. So like, it would behoove me to just walk around my whole apartment for like a week, taking pictures of everything, trying to memorize as hard as I can where everything is, so that I don't have to like buy something new just because I can't find something. My helmet, it was right on top of my bookshelf next to my bikes. And I was looking for like a half hour, like freaking out in my car, in my house, under everything. And then I got the helmet and I looked and I got it. So it's like one of those. I'm like, I can't even get caught up on my own life. So, anyway, I couldn't find it. So I called my mom. She had one. So I rode my bike down there and back, my recliner. So I rode bikes, 2 different commutes yesterday. So I got a little bit of exercise, but came back and I used the Dremel tool to cut the rug a little bit. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just screw it through the rug. It'll look better. And it's still going to be strong enough because it's connected by like 21 things. And yeah, I put it on together, and I put down the Loctite and all that work. It was like burning and making me tired, like my arms and stuff, and sitting around. And yeah, I did it, and I was like, and yeah, I just wanted to just stretch. So I stretched my hips the rest of the day watching Egypt videos like Uncharted X. See, the last few years, I've actually don't know that much about like megaliths and ancient civilizations and like, you know, new ancient civilization archaeological sites that they found recently. Over the last 5 or 10 years, since it's been blowing up, or like the last 5 years, I'm like below average. I like don't know much about that stuff. I'm looking at all these YouTube channels with millions of subscribers, and I don't even know about them. I'm subscribing to them like I'm the millionth and a half person to subscribe and watch these videos for the first time, because I've been spending my time reading history books, regular mainstream history. My task is to try to make people into mainstream history, because all of this new information is popping out, and it's going to it's going to make people not have the time, and people are going to be like not know anything about history because they're too inundated with all this new information coming out. So so I was watching a bunch of those, just riveted. I found Land of Kim channel. I didn't even know it existed. I heard for the first time night before last that the Red Pyramid was a freaking ammonia factory. And I'm like, what? And so now I want to get that guy's book. I want to learn exactly the scientific process. I was never interested in chemistry, but I'm interested in that. I want to figure out to see if he's right, because it hasn't come mainstream yet, which boggles my mind, because when I saw him explain how it's ammonia factory, it made perfect sense to me. So, but last night I had insomnia for some reason. I don't know, maybe because I'm not exercising enough. That's probably what it is, because I'm having to do all this house stuff. But yeah, because the other day when I wrote for 2.5 hours, I was reading this paper from my job and videos from my job to prepare for that. But I have to read the rest of it. It's like 88 pages. I'm like, why did you want me to read that? I just signed a thing that said I read the entire thing, and it's like, it's just a bunch of fines for what you do. It's like written for the corporate. I didn't know the little bikers like me had to do it. But anyway, I have to read the rest of that when I go biking on my bike, on my indoors, I guess by the next time I see him. But I guess I get my official like hiring invite letter tomorrow, and that's when I can get on Humanity and fill up all this other paperwork. So I'm going to be like buried in paperwork tomorrow too. But anyway, so I had insomnia probably until like 3 or 4 in the morning. That's why I was sleeping in this morning, listening to Bashar. All these Bashar, he's talking about stuff I'd never even heard. I don't know if they just, and he talked 2 years ago. I don't know if they just uploaded it recently, but dude, I'm hearing stuff I've never heard before. Like there's this pyramid rock in Sedona that's the same size, only it's round as the Great Pyramid of Giza, and so it has the same properties, and there's all these kachinas that walk out of it, and you can like meditate to the other world on it. And the same thing with the like Half Moon Dome or Half Dome Rock in Canyonlands in Utah. It's like, well, fuck man, when I go there I want to go and camp out in the middle of those things and smoke some salvia divinorum or mushrooms or something and try to talk to the aliens. But yeah, so it was kind of, but I had an epiphany last night, like, I mean, I have this epiphany over and over again, but I had it probably the biggest I ever had it. I was even thinking about doing a YouTube video about it. That like having insomnia actually isn't bad, because you get to stretch. Like me, I'm so old that, and like I haven't exercised. I've been literally sitting on my bed like this for the last, 5 years only this. The only exercise, 6, 7 years, the only exercise I've been doing is lollygagging to my mom's house every once in a while on the bike in the supermarket across the street. But that was it, not weightlifting even one time, stretching one time, no nothing. And all my joints fused and got sore. So anyway, so at night with insomnia, because I'm so tight, I can do stretches. So you can just stretch all night long in bed. And so I was laying on my belly with my shoulder doing this one, because I'm really tight on that. You just lay down and you let gravity. And you're feeling all of the pain of the stretch, and you're like, so you might as well. It's like you're using your time just as effectively. And so I'm doing all the arm stretches across, above, the hip stretches. And because I was trying to hit the bob dummy, kick the bob dummy, like front, kick him in the head. And at 5'6", like I'm barely flexible enough to do that. When the Bob Dummy's 5'6", and you can set that Bob Dummy all the way up to 6'6". So, yeah, I wanted to, I was like, dang. So, and it's the hip stretch. So, so it's like, yeah, I was like, cool. I can, so from now on, when I have insomnia, you just stretch all the damn night, you know? So I finally fell asleep and I got, so today what I need to do is, clean up my house, and I need to do the paperwork, this DVR paperwork. Yesterday I got my student ID at Front Range Community College. So I'm going to go and see if I can get the DVR, whatever paperwork, figure that out. I think one side effect of smoking all the weed is I'm like, I don't want to do paperwork because I'm afraid everything's going to go wrong. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do today. Try to figure that out. And my DVR lady, she's going to help me. Like I email her and then she emails me back and helps me get unstuck. So, and I can send her screen captures and stuff. So that's what I'll do all day. I'm going to start off by having breakfast and then cleaning up my apartment. And then once the apartment's clean, that's when we get going on the paperwork for the DVR thing. And I'll just do that all the rest of the day. Oh, and then I have to call the IRS. I have to look at my taxes for 2022 myself and make sure that I paid them. Call the IRS, ask them what the deal is, and then they might be like, oh, we don't know, oh, oops, mistake, and I'll be like, oh, thank God. You know, but if they can prove to me that I owe the $3,000, I only have $20,000 left in my freaking HELOC, $70,000 HELOC loan. I'd have to dip into that to pay the taxes for 2022 for the second goddamn time. So that's what happens, man. Look at my website. And I mean, if you were smart enough to dig around, you would see that I have a bunch of stuff. One reason that I don't get credit for doing all the work that I did is that I built all this Google Earth stuff that I haven't implemented yet. It's like years worth of work, and it's going to make awesome YouTube videos, but I just kept building Google Earth stuff instead of making the videos because I wanted to make the videos like perfect with links and stuff, but now I'm thinking like just fucking throw it up there, dude. But, and I think I deleted accidentally like all of my zoom in and zoom outs of all the 65 tribes of France from when Julius Caesar went over there from the Celts. I had zoom in, zoom outs from the whole place with all the roads and everything, and that like got deleted. And it was like weeks worth of work, so that's a bummer. And then I have 18 days worth of, I think it was 14 days worth of work. Yeah, a whole half month working 18 hours a day, creating the roads on Polygon from ancient Rome on Italy that I can make the, with YouTube videos with. But the file got deleted, and then the major file that I think it's in, because it's 2.13 gigabytes, my computer can't open. So I wanted to go into the library and see if one of those computers can open it, or maybe my mom's computer, because she just got a new one, but it was one of the cheap ones. But anyway, I don't even know when I'll get around to that. But anyways, what I'm saying is I have a whole lot of, I can make just hours and fucking hundreds of hours of YouTube videos, of like history YouTube videos, recreating all the stuff that I built on Google Earth. And so that's why it kind of seems like I haven't really accomplished that much, because there's all that hidden. You can still download it though, my website. It's pretty cool. But yeah, nobody one time ever said anything about my website. Nobody one time. I think one time, like 13 years ago, this kid, he used to look at my timeline, said he used my timeline for one of his projects. But then he disappeared, and then I think like 7 or 8 years ago, somebody once said, I can see that you made progress on your website. But that's the only comment I've had on my website, which is probably why maybe. And if I go to a therapist and I want to talk about my website and then they still have nothing to say about it, that person might creep me out, and I might want to talk to him again, because it's just bizarre. Like if somebody had like a hobby, I would want to talk to them about their hobby, but people just don't want to. They're like, try to pretend it doesn't exist. And I don't even want to talk about what's on my website, because I'll just talk for an hour, just listing things, all the most important stuff that I think that could be. So, the problem with my website, it's like a challenge, it's one big, competition. So like people probably wouldn't want to talk to me about it because they probably think, and it's probably true, the next thing I'd say is like, yeah, you should take the test. It's like, oh, no. That's the worst. Nobody wants to do that, you know. And I'm probably like, don't realize that I'm like, because I built the timeline and stuff and I've been listening to history books, like it's easy as pie for me to pass those. But for a regular person, you know, like to do England, 1500 to 2000, it's like a year worth of studying and it's just not realistic. That's why I'm super fired up to take the test and get 100% on it, you know, and put it on YouTube and inspire people that way. But, anyway, yeah, so I just have so many different things. So, yeah, I just have to not get frustrated if I don't have the time to do anything. Also, you know, I'm so out of shape sometimes that maybe it just takes days to heal from this an exercise, which is fine. You know, to start up super slowly, because I'm like, it's been years since I did anything, and I'm old now, and but at the same time, I'm behind in logistics with my house, so it works perfectly. I mean, my body doesn't want to exercise, but that's fine because I don't have the goddamn time. So anyways, let me show what I was talking about. I gave away all my weed plants. Because the psychiatrist was like, you're never going to be able to quit. You need to get rid of your weed, so I gave them all to my mom. She was going to give them to a friend who like grows stuff outside, or has a grow room. But anyway, this is what I did last night. I have 7 of those that go around. Yeah, but then I borrowed the extension cord, and then I realized I didn't even need it, that brown extension cord, because I decided I didn't want to cut through the rug. So I have 7 of those. I have Loctite on them, and those are the hacksaw blades. So I have 7 hacksaw blades that go around the bob dummy, and 7 of those with the Loctite, and then they go down, and then they're connected, they're screwed with these really thick wood screws, 3 different wood screws per one, so, with Loctite. That also have Loctite. Go into the floor and have the Loctite. So 21 of them attached to the ground, like a good centimeter under the ground they screw, and they screwed real tight and they look good. So now I can kick the shit out of this MAGA motherfucker in his face. Thanks a lot, MAGA motherfucker. It's gonna get me thrown in fucking, make me lose my apartment and get thrown in prison because of your freaking Nazi fascist leader, dictator, going after me, his little enemy. So yeah, so I would, you know, now you can kick it and all that, and it won't slide back into the cage, and it can stay there. So that's pretty cool. Doesn't he look upset? Yeah, that's right. So that's what I'm up to. I might do the video about autism now, because now I'm officially... Oh, and now I can hang out in this room with the door open without having to stare directly at that grow light. Now I have weed grow lights. It's like, what should I grow in there, you know? Like, I know one plant that really needs bright light is the Venus flytrap. I should buy, but those are expensive. I should get a bunch of Venus flytraps, dude, and put them in there, and then they can catch all the bugs that I have. Wouldn't that be fun? Because they need super bright light like that. But anyway, so that's my vlog. Oh, let's talk about Atlantis. Atlantis. This never works. I'm like, I find Atlantis by just where I am on Atlantis in the video, because I can't see. There's no timer on here. Maybe if I look at it like that. Yeah, not even when you twist it like that. It doesn't say how many minutes into the video you are. Yeah, every day I want to talk about a little bit of another thing of Atlantis. So yeah, Bashar. I was listening to Bashar. Bashar knows Atlantis. I mean, if you listen to Bashar, then you know that Atlantis is the Bahamas, because he says it all the time. Atlantis was the Bahamas. That's why you have the Bermuda Triangle there. It's from the ancient like pyramids that they made in Atlantis that are doing crazy stuff. And the zone of Atlantis. What else did he say? Yeah. It's bizarre that, because I was watching Jimmy Corsetti. Because he's friends with, like, he He's in the same general YouTube feed when you watch the videos as Uncharted X. I think this guy's even friends. I heard him say that, and he's got interesting videos. He was showing the seams of the rocks in Egypt, and that you can barely see them. It's really cool. I want to watch all those videos because I have a big 80-inch TV. When I'm like stretching, that'd be fun. Or riding my bike in my room and watching those. But it's bizarre because all those people, those are the same people. Like he's the main person who think that Atlantis is the rich at structure in Africa. He thinks the Atlantis is a rich at structure in Africa. And I saw one of his videos saying that it's there. And I mean, he did say some interesting stuff. I don't know if it's true. I need to like back it up, but apparently there was like a king called Aslan who lived there at the same location. So that's interesting. Oh, and they called it Aslan, like an ancient like Roman map. Called it Atlan, so that's interesting. I want to look at that map. I've seen those maps before. I want to double check it, but it's just kind of bizarre that you have those guys believing in ancient civilizations, and they think Atlantis is the Richat structure, and so that means they don't listen to Bashar, meaning they don't listen to channelers, and they're not spiritual, or they're not open-minded like that. So it's like everybody's becoming aware of like ancient civilization, but from the left and the right. Like Jimmy Corsetti represents the right side. He probably voted Trump, and like regular mainstream hippies would represent like the people who listen to Bashar, and think that Atlantis is in the Bahamas. But he's saying that it's the same size. The Richat structure is the same size as Atlantis. It's not. I superimposed it in one of my videos. My Atlantis, if you just type Atlantis, that I did 11 months ago on my main channel, I explain why it's in the Bahamas. And I even superimposed it on the Richat structure to prove how ridiculous it is to think that it's there. Yeah, somebody said they were going to give me $20. They never did, but that's fine because I wanted to do the video anyway. Yeah, I need to start asking for money. I even wrote the CIA and asked them for money. I wrote them 3 times in like the last month. I'm kind of harassing them. And I was thinking maybe that's why they colluded with the IRS to send me that letter. But I was like, I'm getting in that habit of writing money. Oh yeah, because I saw John Krikow say that his field officer had a desk full of hundreds, and he just threw them at him like they have too much money. So I was like, I told him that. I'm like, hey, I heard that story from John Krikow, the guy who got thrown in jail by his own government for spilling the beans on CIA torture program. But anyway, oh, and then I saw an Andrew Bustamante, CIA guy. I've seen John Krikow and Andrew Bustamante do videos together. But Andrew Bustamante, dude, said that watched a video saying that he was part of a CIA. He was an undercover CIA guy who went to like this thing called something mound. I guess it's up there near Devil's Tower on the Indian reservation because they found out it had energy. And he went up there to the top of the mound with the elder, and like they did tests, and like when they went there in the day, it had like a certain number of like readings, like electromagnetic and these different energy readings. And then when they went there in the evening, all the readings were the opposite. It was like extra energy here and no energy here, and it didn't make any sense. And they come to the conclusion that it was an interdimensional portal, and it was created by all of these spirits going in and out, and the weird weather anomalies. This is what he literally said. Andrew Bustamante goes, yeah, those weird weather anomalies were created by the spirits. And so your emotions and your mind can create the weather, and that's something that like Seth said through Jane Roberts like 40 years ago, 50 years ago. So, yeah, if you read Nature of Personal Reality, they talk about, even certain specific examples and stories of like how people's collective minds can create rainstorms and stuff like that. And that's actually what Bashar was saying, that they created, that the our Atlanteans who got destroyed, created through their hubris and making the crystals too big and powerful and stuff, actually created a parallel universe where they put themselves directly in the path of the comet. And that's why it got destroyed. And so that there's other Atlantises that didn't got destroyed, and Bashar went to one of them. Oh, and Bashar said he had tea with the Atlantean god Thoth. But yeah, like I made Future Atlantis on Google Earth. I know, it's crazy. Nobody cares about what I do. I built Future Atlantis on Google Earth. I built Past Atlantis, the entire Atlantis, which nobody acknowledges other than me that it exists, including my mom. Yeah, I basically like am one walking, talking Twilight Zone experience. Because nobody pays attention to anything that I say. Yeah, I built the Exceed 4000. I imagined Future Atlantis, like present Atlantis, because then at 10,000 years in the future, imagine the level of technology. Like Bashar said Bashar said that in 2027, in 2 years, is going to be first disclosure. Like a spaceship off the coast of LA or something like that, possibly. But by 2066, 100% certain the aliens have returned and they're hanging out with us. Because they want to get all the human races together. We're the 6th hybrid human race. The ones that we just created with the Sasani are the 6th hybrid human race, and they're thinking about putting them in like a campground, like out in the woods in the nature near Sedona, to reinstigate them. But that they'll be completely integrated, like those alien movies where the aliens have moved in with us by 2066, 100%. So by the time I'm 93, so definitely if I stay healthy, and 100% in my lifetime, the aliens are going to be hanging out and living with us and stuff. But he was saying that in 1,000 years, all of the 6 hybrid and Indian alien races of human, from the Z's, the Zetas, not the Z's, the Zetas, not to confuse them, and all those are going to meld together to create the 7th hybrid human race. So all the 6 hybrid human races together to create the 7th. So to bring all the humans from all the parallel universes, the ones that destroyed everything, all together in one, in 1,000 years, which seems like a long time. But if you look in our past, 1,000 years ago, that was a whole 1,000 years after the height of Rome. So, and it's only like 10 lifetimes, it's not that long, but I was gonna say something, yeah, anyway, so that's stuff that I haven't heard before. Like, this is all new to me because I haven't been listening to it. So that's what I want to do, organizing. I want to listen to Bashar again. I don't know if I finished what he was saying, but I want to get caught up on all those, on the Land of Kim guy, all the Bashars. Super exciting, dude. All this new information. Oh yeah, but my Future Atlantis. So I built the Exceed 4000 building on Atlantis. Because I imagined that Atlantis, the way that, and Bashar said it's amazingly beautiful. And the Atlantis that I built is amazingly beautiful because you scatter Exceed 4000 buildings 20 kilometers away from each other, meaning you could wingsuit fly from building to building, dude. And that they can fly gliders from building to building because the Exceed 4000 building can drag with a rope the gliders and the people to the top with solar power. And then you just jump off the building, and it's like you travel around completely energy free, not even high technology, like totally energy free. You're traveling around the whole place, and most of the people are concentrated around the buildings, and so most of the island is just like refugee sanctuaries for animals that have become tame that you can go out and hang out with, and like gardens and stuff, like kind of like Rome. Like Rome, if you were to go back to Rome in its height, like in the 1st century, you would be blown the fuck away. Like your head would get blown right out of your skull, dude. You would be like, it's like 100 million times more beautiful than you could possibly imagine. Because, like, you know how Italy is the land of like overpriced, high quality, ultra high quality, overpriced fucking stuff? Well, that comes from ancient Rome. You know, like you have Campagnolo and Ferrari and all this stuff. In ancient Rome in the first century, the entire, like, from Rome to like 100 miles out, like as far as you could see from Rome, was nothing but orchards. Because Rome, see, they imported their food from Egypt, and so they didn't have to cook any of their own food. Like, they were the hub of the world, and so they didn't have to, grow food, and so they grew flowers. They exported. They made their money exporting flowers throughout the world, and just flowers for the rich. And so it was just orchards. It was just all these colors of flowers on the ground. With these like perfectly clean, like straight roads going through them, and they're straight so you can see for as long as you want to the end. And I mean, it was just like blow your mind. That's why I was building Rome on Google Earth, and it was also a lot bigger than people realize. Like the buildings that grew out, it went out. It was like as big as like modern day like Denver or something. All built up. But like there's this big Circus Maximus that's like 5 kilometers south of Rome or something, and like, yeah, it was built up all the way to there. But anyways, yeah, like you even know exactly how much it was because they told you how many miles out of the 7 roads that you went. And I rebuilt it, but I didn't finish it. It's one of those unfinished projects. Like some examples, and I won't bore you, but some examples of unfinished Google Earth projects that I have are all the tribes of northern of the Alps, northern Italy, southern France, and these are tribes that are only the size of a valley. And it's like, yeah. And so I was going to build that. I'm not quite done. I said the roads of ancient Italy, but also the city itself and the wall, the city limits of when it was at its height, not the Aurelian Wall, the stuff that nobody's ever done. I just can't get done with it, because I ran out of time, and my body over saturated or got too old. So, maybe this is like God's plan to get kicked out of my apartment. Like maybe I'm not even meant to live that long, Maybe I'll die of like being out of shape, of a heart attack from lack of exercise in 10 years, but it won't matter because my job was to try to get this Google Earth stuff built up as quickly as possible. But maybe it's God's plan for me to get kicked out of my apartment by the fucking IRS because Paula keeps wanting me to move in for her. Maybe I could move in with Paula. Like, she has this big house, all these rooms. Maybe I could move into one of her rooms in the corner, mind my own business, just working away on my computer and making sure to exercise every day. But then I just get back on the computer work and finish the website. Maybe that's what the plan is. Maybe if I'm allowed to have an apartment with bikes, I would just ride the bikes and I wouldn't finish the website, and that's not what I'm supposed to do. But I'm gonna fight it as much as I can, Yeah, and I'm done paying these phantom bills. It's freaking bullshit. Anyways, so that's my vlog, and so today's theme of Atlantis was Bashar says Atlantis is there, and that there's present Atlantis, and then Exceed 4000 Atlantis that I was telling you about. So future Atlantis. Yeah, so maybe now I will talk about the autism diagnosis. We'll think about it. I should get up and walk around and have breakfast first, though. Talk to you tomorrow.